we're done the kneading. I'm just going to cover this. And I'll use some saran wrap for that, some plastic wrap. And then I'll see you in about 20 minutes. Once this is done, a little bit of rising. Welcome back to Dog's Breakfast, a cooking show. Well, here's our dough. As you can see, it's about doubled in size. And what we want to do now is we want to break it into half. So I prefer using a knife, makes it nice and clean. And when we've cut it in half, we then want to take each half and break them into thirds. That will be for each one of the rings that we have on the braided egg ring. And we're going to have 2 of the rings. 3 braids on each one, so 6 braids in all. So what I do is I just make it into a bit of a loaf here. That one's slightly larger than that, that's okay. And then again, I'll cut it into thirds so that I can make each of the braids. Now there's some flour still left here on the countertop, which is absolutely fine. But all that we want to do is we want to just stretch out these rings. Go for, well, for the small one here, maybe 18 inches or so. For the larger one, maybe 24 inches. Just put a little bit of flour on there. You don't want too much flour because then it becomes very difficult to roll it and to get some friction going. Okay. So again, you want to stretch it out. These ones, the rings will be about 18 inches, just about there now. All right, so there's 3, and as you can see, they're about the same length. Let's bring them back, braid them up, and get them onto a cookie sheet. For you men out there, if you don't know how to braid, ask your wife. Okay? But it's really not all that difficult. And men have been doing this for a long time, by the way. Especially mariners, when they needed ropes with special consistency, special strengths, and so on. They would do braiding to get that, and they still do. Braiding is still popular with ropes. Now what we want to do now is we want to make that into a little bit of a ring, and then find the best way for the ends to come together. All right? And then you want to essentially squish them together. The finest way, of course, is not to see any seam, but that's almost impossible to do. So there, we've done a pretty good job on that one. And I'll just take it and put it onto this cookie sheet, which, as I say, I have pre-greased, and I'll happily admit I did it the easy way. I did it with spray on. I'm going to put some Reynolds wrap on there, and we're going to let these sit for overnight, 2 hours to overnight. They can sit a little bit shorter than 24 hours if you want, but in the refrigerator, just let them get to know each other, let them grow a little bit. All right, when they come back out, we're going to put some oil on them, we'll put some egg white on them, and then we'll pop them in the oven. I'll see you, because I want it done this afternoon, in about 2 hours. Hello, welcome back to It's a Dog's Breakfast. Today we're doing braided bread ring. We've got them in the oven now. They've been in for about 22 minutes. The last 4 minutes, I've had it on broil to brown up the top. You want to have them in about 20 to 25 minutes, and they're ready to come out now. There's what they look like. Let's see if they're actually done. If you haven't done this before with bread, typically it's a knock test. And the way that we do that is to just, if the bread sounds hollow, then it's done. If the larger one is done, the smaller one is done. Just going to get a stand to put the bread on. There we have it, braided bread ring. And there we have it, braided bread ring. Enjoy.